Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Justin, here with Mr. Johnson, Mr. Ryan, and we've got a heck of a show for you. Ryan, what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to take a dive into Para, and we're going to find out, we're going to ask right off the bat, does everyone know what Para table they're on?
Mm.
And then this follow-up question, does everyone know how many Para tables there are? Third question, what the heck is a Para table?
What the heck is a
For some people,
paratable?
right? What is a
Yeah.
Para table?
So if you're a teacher here in Colorado, we have para, and that's a good starting point.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to show you the newest Para table that came into existence in 2020. I'm going to put it up here right now. It's Para table 9. So anyone that started paying into Para, teachers and other people that pay into Para, after January 1st of 2020, this is their reality. All right, we'll explain what this table shows and means a bit here, and then we're going to compare it to some other tables that exist. We're going to actually compare it to what table Justin's on and the one I was on before I retired 2 years ago.
Cool.
So let's kind of break this down a little bit in case you're new with what these Para tables are.
Yeah.
And then we'll show some comparisons, and then we'll talk about why we don't like Para table 9 and what we'd like to see done.
Right. So the top bar here, this is the age of the retirement. And we've got 50 all the way up to 65 plus. And then going down the side here, we have our years of experience. So it's kind of a flipped graph. Usually it's on the bottom and the side there, but this is from the top and the side. And then in the middle here, this is all the years. And what we do for Para 9 is we take your top 5 years where you made the most money, and we average those out. And then you take that average, and let's just say you're 55, you've been teaching for 26 years or 25 years here, and we're at 28.5. So you take your top 5 years, average it out, and you get 28.5% of those top 5 years.
Perfect.
And that's how we read the chart.
So to use simple math to show an example, let's imagine your top 5 years were $100,000. You would then get $28,500 as your retirement, your pension through Para.
Yep.
So if you started after 2020, as you can see, you can't start collecting your pension until you're at least 55. So I have a niece that's student teaching right now in Fort Collins. She's going to be an English teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Next fall, she's going to be looking for a job.
Nice.
Good luck. My niece, starting at age 23, if she teaches until 55, that'll be 32 years of service in the Para. 32 years will pay her 62.1% of her highest 5 years of work. All right. Later, we can talk about purchasing service credit and how you can buy years to get down to that 87.5 so you can have a bigger pension. But for now, I just want to talk about how that kind of works and how that looks.
Nice. So what happens over here, Ryan?
That's a great question. Let's say a teacher teaches 25 years and they're 50. They don't get anything. They don't, when they're 50, 51, 52, I think this is 53, 54. But when they hit 55, even though they haven't taught for 5 years, they will start collecting that 28.5%. So you can quit before you get to the green. You just have to wait till that age to start collecting. I can give one quick example. There's a lady I know. She wants to teach for 25 years. She wants to teach for 20 years. She wants to buy 5 years. So then later she will actually collect a pension. So that's kind of one of her plans.
Okay, so she's got a game plan.
She has a game plan to buy years. So she'll get a bit of a pension, even though she's getting out of education at 45, I believe is her goal, to do another career.
Okay. So at the beginning here, you'd mentioned that Para 9's kind of not your favorite. Why? If I'm still getting money,
yeah,
why is it not your favorite?
No, and I came across this a couple of years. I retired 2 years ago, so I was making sure I did all the right research to do everything right. And that's when I realized there's 9 Para tables. And when I glanced at table 9, I'm like, oh my, that is not a good table. That is horrible when you compare to the other 8 tables. And some of you already know why, because you've looked at these tables. But right here is why. If you're on para table 1 through 8, you can start collecting your pension at 50. This is all green for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll show you an example. A lot of teachers are on para table 2, which Justin's on, and I was on, like I said, before I retired. So on para table 2, there's the proof.
There's the proof.
Right there. My niece, if she was on this table and she taught until she was 50, that would be 27 years. She'd be 27 years into paying para. She would get a pension.
But not only that, but if I'm 20 or 55 and I taught for 25 years, I'm making 62%, 62.5% versus the 28.5%.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. So I am really upset, and you should be too, even for your colleagues. Even if you happen to be on para 2, you should feel for your colleagues that are on para 9. I believe they should go back to a previous table. Anything's better than this.
yeah.
We're not going to show you para table 8, but in para table 8, you can start collecting here too. But we're worried about retention for teachers.
Right.
I can see down the road someone will see this and say, you know what?
I'm out.
I'm out. I'm out. So I'm worried about that. I'm also worried about the stress, to be honest with you, trying to hang on financially to teach the 55, because we all know teaching is a very stressful, very tiring job, and it only gets more tiring as you get older. Even though you figure some things out, it's always going to be tiring.
Well, it's one of those things that if your niece who's just graduating college here and she's 23 years old,
Right.
what happens in a couple of years or so? She wants to have a family,
Right.
right? She leaves the teaching for a little bit of time to help grow her family, raise her kids, and then she comes back, right?
Yeah.
So now she has to do a little bit of catch up and stuff. So she might be in a little bit longer as well, not just the 50, but now we have to go to 55,
Right.
right? When the kids are old enough to go to kindergarten.
Yeah, exactly.
But
no, and what I would tell any teacher, including my niece, of course, is prepare for everything. Hope that you love teaching. If you're and you teach till 55, and it's like, oh, I love it. I don't even want to retire at 55, but I see I'm in a great place because I have 87.5% of my highest 5 years. I hope that happens to all of you that are on this table. But meantime, I suggest investing in the stock market. Para offers many options. I'm not going to show you them all, or we're not going to talk about them all. But if you go to their website, they explain all the options of what you can invest in through Para.
right, I think a big part is just bringing awareness, right? Where do you get this education about para? Obviously, um, it's not during our PD meetings that we love to have, uh, but it's a thing that we hope to give you is some of the education going to para and what does para offer and how can we make the most of what we have.
Exactly. And if you read through all this, you'll understand what it all is. If not, we're all teachers, so we can do some further research to figure this stuff out. So I don't want to go into that right now. We don't want to go into that. We're really focusing on the tables. We will talk about one more thing though. Purchasing service credit, also known as buying years.
Buying years.
Again, I was very lucky, and I did plan for sure, but I was very lucky that when I was teaching, I looked at all the information. I realized when I'm 50, I would have 26 and a half years into para. So I could retire right here. But I realized by looking at this chart that if I could buy 4 years, I'd have a lot more in my pension than if I didn't. So earlier in my career, I started saving through the Para's 401k in plans and potentially buying years if I didn't want to teach all 30 years and want to do something else.
Nice.
So get familiar with purchasing service credit, understand how it works, read all the literature they provide. Para does a great job. They have videos and little quick tutorials, and then see if this is going to potentially be part of your plan. It might not be for everybody. Some people teach, for example, as second careers. So if you're only teaching 10, 15 years, then most likely buying years isn't going to do you any good. So that's the biggest thing we wanted to talk about is have a plan, know your reality. If you're on table 9, like newer teachers, or if you're on para 2, like a lot of the teachers that have been teaching since, well, for about
2004.
If you've been teaching about 19 years or more, then this is probably the table you're on. And I say probably because I want you to check. I don't want to tell you what you're on
Right.
because I'm not good with this kind of stuff. But check what table you're on and kind of see your reality. So
Yeah. I think you just gave him the homework.
yeah,
Go find your table. What table, Para table, are you on? And maybe you need to start thinking about a plan. Maybe you need to explore the Para website and look into the 401k. 457 would be an option as well.
yeah,
But how does that sound? Is that good homework?
that's great homework. Yeah, get familiar with this, know how it affects you, and I hope you have a great school year. We're in early January here.
Yep.
What did you do today again, by the way?
So today is Friday,
Hmm.
and I had to go to work. This is my first day back after our winter break. I had to go back to work for 3 hours of meetings, and that was it. So
Oh,
that was my Friday.
I miss that. You know, when people ask me what I miss about teaching, it's always the meetings
Always
first.
the meetings.
Everything else was all right, but the meetings, oh yeah, that's what I miss. So, all right, thanks everybody. We hope you have a great year.
Yep. Thank you. Bye.